We are the I.S.U.P.K, Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge, out of Harlem, New York, 125th Street, under Commanding General Yohanna. And if you're not in the I.S.U.P.K, you are not in the truth.
That's right.
All right, now, I do want to make clear up a statement I made in my last class when I said that you don't need nobody to interpret the Bible for you, that the scriptures interpret themselves. That is true, but evidently you must need a teacher. Because if that was the case, all the people who say they read the Bible, they would have this understanding that the Most High put upon General Yohanna, the elders, we don't have elders, but the forefathers of the school, those men had the Spirit of the Most High upon them, and the correct understanding of the Bible came to the nation of Israel. When we say, if you're not in the I.S.U.P.K, you're not in the truth, because there ain't nowhere else on this earth that you done ever heard the truth. I'm saying, before any other fake Hebrew Israelite camp existed, the one place you could get this truth from was the I.S.U.P.K. Regardless of who did what after. Meaning, just because you go make a breakout group of a breakout group, don't make you in the truth. The truth has always been here. It hasn't changed. The teachings, the breakdowns, the doctrines, or the mannerism of brothers in the school, it has not changed. So I do want to say that because the I.S.U.P.K is where I got taught. You're going to need a teacher. Because if you can read this Bible by yourself, then you will see everything that we're telling you clearly. But because somebody else done gave you a perception of what these scriptures is about, every time you read the book, that's all you can see is the lie they put in your mind. So, I want you to understand that. They put a lie in your mind about what these scriptures is about. They'll tell you, oh, white people wrote the book. They even say, the book is about white people. Okay, let's find out. Then when we go into the scriptures, we find out it ain't about white people. And white people didn't write the book.
Right.
So what part of these Christians or whoever you may be who reading these scriptures, it never came to the conclusion that the so-called black man in America is the real Jew. The book been read for hundreds of years now by black people, that is, for at least 200. They been running around singing and dancing in churches. The point I'm making is that if you could learn this truth without a teacher, then you will need prophets and teachers to come along to instruct you into the word of truth. Just like any other school, you can't go say, I'm gonna teach calculus if you never went to a school to learn about calculus or chemistry or being a doctor or being a lawyer or being a plumber, an electrician. Why would the Most High give you a book like this without someone to teach you? Just like any other learned knowledge. My people perish for lack of knowledge. How do you acquire knowledge? Because these Christians have you thinking you can judge. Oh, God bless me. One day, I had a brother say, the Spirit inside of me, I don't need to know the Bible. I got the Holy Spirit inside of me. It's inside of me. All right, now, read them. Can you go to 2 Thessalonians 2:11 through 12. We're going to find out that the reason you think that you seeing a whole bunch of Christian doctrines in the Bible because you've been prepped up already to assume, for instance, when you read John 3:16, you assume because your mind is being implanted with the lie. They tell you it's talking about the whole world. So when you read the Bible, that's what you think it's about. That's not the case. Read.
2 2 Thessalonians chapter 2, verse 11. And for this cause God shall send them strong delusion, that they should believe a lie. Verse 12. That they all might be damned who believed not the truth, but had pleasure in unrighteousness.
All right, now, this scripture particularly say the Most High sent them a strong delusion that they should believe a lie. The next verse gonna tell you why he did. Read 12 again.
2 Thessalonians chapter 2, verse 12. That they all might be damned who believe not the truth, but had pleasure in unrighteousness.
Most High say he gonna send them a strong delusion so they may believe the lie. Who is they that's gonna believe the lie? All those who have pleasure in the lie, in a life of unrighteousness. What's righteous? What do it mean to be righteous? To be righteous means you a keeper of the law. For the law is spiritual. The law is righteous. So those who live in unrighteousness are those who do not follow the law of the Most High. Okay? And those people, a strong delusion has been sent to them.
Right.
So they may be damned. Meaning if you got pleasure, what's this pleasure in unrighteousness? Pleasure in unrighteousness is your woman talking about, not your woman, but a woman saying she want to be the head of the church. She's the preacher. She coming on her period unclean and she's preaching. That's unrighteousness. Everybody who have pleasure in that unrighteousness, how do I know it's unrighteous? Because the scripture said they suffer not a woman to teach.
Right.
Or assert authority over the man. That's the command. That's the law. That's the structure. That's the standard. And if you don't want to follow that, then you are in unrighteousness. And you have some who are having pleasure in unrighteousness.
Right.
Now, but the point we making is that the Most High sent them a strong delusion so they could believe a lie. Now, we're going to find out what is that delusion that the Most High sent. Give me let's go to 1 Timothy, let's go to Genesis chapter 3, verses 1 through 6. Notice that the delusion is associated with believing a lie. So the delusion is a strong lie. That's what it is. The Most High gonna allow a lie to be told on this earth. Why? Because he want to test you. Read.
Genesis chapter 3, verse 6. And when the woman saw that the tree was good for food, and that it was pleasant to the eyes, and a tree to be desired to make one wise, she took of the fruit thereof, and did eat, and gave also unto her husband with her, and he did eat.
Now, notice that right here, this is right after the temptation in the garden. We eat. All right, the delusion or the lie was associated with her being made like unto God or a God. All right? And if you fall for that, then you're going to live a life having pleasure and unrighteousness. Now, let's go to, I know we didn't finish all 6 verses, but I don't think it's the point to read all 6 like that. But let's go to 1 Timothy 2 and 14.
First Timothy chapter 2, verse 14. And Adam was not deceived, but the woman being deceived was in the transgression.
Now, that verse is not saying that Adam didn't do wrong or it's all on the woman, all that. No. She was failing to, what they saying, she fell into transgression because she was deceived. Not because she inherently evil or anything like that. She was tricked. She's the weaker vessel. She fell into a transgression because of the deception. All right. Now, if you break the law, there is a judgment or a penalty. Just like you go to Genesis, you will see that after that, the Most High pronounced a judgment for transgressing His commandment. Okay. Now, the point we want to see right here is that notice that she was deceived and fell into transgression. Now, the definition for delusion. Let me find it. I have to read it down. Oh, it comes. All right. The root word or the word that comes from is to delude, which means to cause to hold a false belief or to deceive thoroughly. Right. So when the Most High say He's gonna send you a strong delusion, He sent out the strong deceiver. Satan or devil means deceiver. That's his job, to deceive, to lie. The scripture say that He is the father of all lies. And when He speaks a lie, He speaks His native tongue. Salaki. I was looking for my phone, but I don't have it, so I can pull that up. All right, now, again, the point I'm making is, what is the strong delusion? And who is the delusion coming from? The Most High gonna send, I want to find this scripture right quick in the Old Testament. Let me see if I can find it, which the Most High left certain people in the land to test Israel. I'm sorry, I usually would have it. So like I'll get that scripture for you later. But here, we're going to find out what is the delusion. First of all, we're going to go to Revelation 2 and 9. 12 and 9, so like. Go to Revelation 12 and 9. Again, the Most High finna send a strong delusion.
Which deceived the whole world. He was cast out into the earth, and his angels were cast out with him.
You said the old serpent or the devil, right? Read it again, one more time.
And the great dragon was cast out, that old serpent called the devil and Satan, which deceiveth the whole world. He was cast out into the earth, and his angels were cast out with him.
Now, right now, we see that the old serpent, Satan, or you call him the devil, that he is the deceiver. He deceived the whole world. Now, let's go back to Genesis chapter 3. Start at verse 3, verse 1 and 2.
Genesis chapter 3, verse 1. Now the serpent was more subtle than any beast of the field which the Lord God had made. And he said unto the woman, Yea, hath God said, Ye shall not eat of every tree of the garden. And the woman said unto the serpent, We may eat of the fruit of the trees of the garden, but the fruit of the tree which is in the midst of the garden, God hath said, Ye shall not eat of it, neither shall ye touch it, lest ye die. And the serpent said unto the woman, Ye shall not surely die, for God doeth know that in the day ye eat thereof, then your eyes shall be opened, and ye shall be as gods, knowing good and evil.
Again, Revelation 12 and 9, we seen that the old serpent, that same serpent in Revelation, it's the serpent in Genesis.
Right.
We're not talking about a literal snake now. We talking about the character or the spirit of an individual, of a person, or a type of man. Okay? Now, to prove that, let's go to Revelation chapter 13, verse 7.
Revelation chapter 13, verse 7. And it was given unto him to make war with the saints, and to overcome them. And power was given him over all kindreds and tongues and nations.
Now we finna find out right here. It say power was given to him.
Right.
Okay? Over all tongues, all people, and all nations. All right? Read verse 8.
Revelation chapter 13, verse 8. And all that dwell upon the earth shall worship him, whose names are not written in the book of life of the Lamb slain from the foundation of the world.
Now, because Christians love to say that, oh, these people, why y'all say that about the white man and the devil? Why y'all say, he your enemy? And God don't respect no person. And all this old Christian talk. Right. They want you to believe that the devil or Satan or the old serpent is some spiritual ghost like Casper or something. I don't know. That's affecting everything you see as if it's not a person on earth. Right. They always run to my, why y'all blame the white man? As if black people came over here on their own free will. My question is, why come you ain't gonna charge the criminal?
Right.
That's the reason why he done fooled the whole earth like he is a person upholding righteousness, like he upholding the law on the earth. Through his movies, and he got you think he trying to save the whales, he trying to save all life on earth. And you believe it.
Right.
But while you believe in it, he murdering black babies every day.
That's right.
He murdering Latino babies every day.
That's right.
Native American babies, he murdering them every day. But you got in your mind, he here to help the human race. To you, the white man is Superboy, Superman, Batman, all these people. He going out his way to fight crime. He going out his way to stop the wickedness. He is the wicked.
Right.
We gonna prove it though. These scriptures, this lesson, it's going to be without a shadow of a doubt that the Most High talking about literal people on the earth. Not no mystic, imaginary boogeyman that you've been scared of since you was a baby. People running around here, they scared of Satan. And they don't fear the Most High at all. It's crazy. How you not going to fear the Most High, but you afraid of Satan, the boogeyman? That's because your understanding has been warped. You've been in a strong deception, a delusion. Jump down to verse 14 in that same Revelation chapter 13.
Revelation chapter 13, verse 14. And deceived them that dwell on the earth by the means of those miracles which he had power to do in the sight of the beast, saying to them that dwell on the earth, that they should make an image to the beast, which had the wound by a sword, and did live. Now, again, notice the scripture we read, it ain't hard to understand that he's talking about literal people and nations on earth. Like he say, he deceived them that dwell on the earth. People. He is a person too. Right.
Now, what was that, just 14? Right. Give me verse 15.
Revelation chapter 13, verse 15. And he had power to give life unto the image of the beast, that the image of the beast should both speak and cause that as many as would not worship the image of the beast should be killed. Verse 16.
Lie. All right, now, again, we see that he had power to give life to the image of the beast. All right? Now, we understand, we talk about the deceiver who has been given the task to go out on this earth with a strong delusion. Okay? We finna prove it though. He gave, well now first we want to find out, what is the beast? Who is the beast? If I'm not mistaken, let me find it. I'm I want to get the specific scriptures that tell you what the 10 horns on the beast are. I want to find a specific scripture that's going to tell you what the 7 heads are on the beast. Okay? First of all, we're going to find out that, give me 13, okay? Give me Revelations 13, verse 1.
The book of Revelation, chapter 13, verse 1. And I stood upon the sand of the sea, and saw a beast rise up out of the sea, having 7 heads and 10 horns, and upon his horns 10 crowns, and upon his heads the name of blasphemy.
Okay, right? This is the description of the beast. Now, the Most High in His Word, while John the Revelator revealing this, the Most High gonna reveal to you in the scriptures who the 7 heads and the 10 horns represent. Because I want to show you that these are literal people, nations, and kings on this earth. This is not no mystic, scary movie. This is, we finna deal with the reality that's in these scriptures. Right. And you're gonna find out that your enemy is the one who's giving you the deception.
Right.
All right. Now, while I'm looking for that, could you read me Romans 1, 22 through 23?
The book of Romans, chapter 1, verse 22. Professing themselves to be wise, they became fools, and changed the glory of the uncorruptible God into an image made like to corruptible man, and to birds, and four-footed beasts, and creeping things. Verse 24.
Now, again, that scripture telling you that they made images made to look like men, in which they associated with the worship of the Most High power. Now, give me cover. You got to understand that this whole concept is wrong. Read 22 one more time.
Romans chapter 1, verse 22.
It's like 23.
Romans chapter 1, verse 23. And changed the glory of the uncorruptible God into an image made like to corruptible man, and to birds, and four-footed beasts, and creeping things.
Now, go to Exodus 20, verses 4 through 5, because we want to bring the precept or the law out to let you know that this is wrong. When you go in your Christian church and you see a picture up there that's supposed to represent someone in the heavens to worship, that is a sin. Read.
Exodus chapter 20, verse 4. Thou shalt not make unto thee any graven image, or any likeness of anything that is in heaven above, or that is in the earth beneath, or that is in the water under the earth. Thou shalt not bow down thyself to them, nor serve them, for I, the Lord thy God, am a jealous God, visiting the iniquity of the fathers upon the children unto the 3rd and 4th generation of them that hate me.
My question is, you telling me I can't have a Virgin Mary and baby Jesus on my wall and pray with a rosary in front of it? I can't do that? Read that scripture one more time.
Thou shalt not, the book of Exodus chapter 20 verse 4. Thou shalt not make unto thee any graven image, or any likeness of anything that is in heaven above, or that is in the earth beneath, or that is in the water under the earth.
Now, that's the law. Now, in Revelations, again, we finna go, give me verses 12 and 9 one more time. Revelation chapter 12, verse 9.
The book of Revelation, chapter 12, verse 9. And the great dragon was cast out, that old serpent called the devil and Satan, which deceiveth the whole world. He was cast out into the earth, and his angels were cast out with him.
The reason we reading this, because Satan, the devil, deceived the whole world. Now we're going to go back to Revelation 13 and 7. The whole world going to worship the dragon, Satan, the devil, the deceiver, the adversary. Right. Adversary to who? He's the adversary of the Most High. Not the spiritual Satan, the angel. He works for the Most High. He follows orders from the Most High. We talking about Satan's instrument on this earth. The people that he using to fulfill his task.
Right. Revelation 13 and 8. And all that dwell upon the earth shall worship him, whose names are not written in the book of life of the Lamb slain from the foundation of the world.
Skip down to 14.
Verse 14. And deceiveth them that dwell on the earth by the means of those miracles which he had power to do in the sight of the beast, saying to them that dwell on the earth, that they should make an image to the beast, which had the wound by a sword, and did live.
So the beast, they say make an image to the beast. We talking about the image of the beast at this point. Now we finna find out what the beast is. Let's go to Revelation chapter 17. Let's start at 17:9.
The book of Revelation, chapter 17, verse 9. And here is the mind which hath wisdom. The 7 heads are 7 mountains, on which the woman sitteth.
Verse 10.
And there are 7 kings. 5 are fallen, and one is, and the other is not yet come. And when he cometh, he must continue a short space.
Skip down to verse 12.
Verse 12. And the 10 horns which thou sawest are 10 kings.
Stop. The 10 horns represent 10 kings. Kings represent whole nations.
Right.
These are literal people. And these 10 horns or 10 kings, 10 nations, they in a confederacy. Give me what's that, Psalms chapter 83? You say they are a confederacy against thee? You finna find out these literal people. And these people went out and told the world and made the world worship an image. This go back into that do not be deceived, for many false prophets shall come in my name. They went out into the whole earth and upheld an image. When you looking at the white boy, Caesar Borgia, and they calling that Christ, that's the image of the beast.
Right.
Guess who uphold the image of the beast? What group of people run their image to the world? The Pope sitting in the seat of the beast. He at the top of that whole organization. The Pope. They run at the Catholic Church, went out all doing the crusades, fighting wars and spreading Christianity with the sword.
Right.
If you did, like the scripture said, if you didn't worship the image of the beast, he had power to have you killed. But the scripture's gonna get even more detailed. Let's find out what part of the earth these 10 kings are predominantly from. Let's go to Daniel chapter 8. The enemies of Israel are their enemies all through the book.
Right.
The same law is all through the book.
Right.
You know what changed? You went into slavery because of your sins. You changed. You broke the covenant, so you went into slavery. When I say you, I'm not talking about nobody specifically. I mean Israel, us. Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. We changed. We went from keeping the Most High covenant to breaking it.
Right.
The covenant is still the same. You're going to keep his law, and he's going to be your God, and you're going to be his people. We the only nation of people out here who done left our cultural identity. And just for the record, your culture, an identity, your language, everything about a people, it don't come from the people themselves, it comes from the God they serve.
Right.
If your God love everybody, and he want to save you no matter what, and he accept you just the way you is, guess what? I can imagine your society being lawless.
Right.
But if your God said, if you break this law, I'm going to punish you. If you would taught that, you would have a whole different understanding. All right, now, reason I say a different understanding, because you would be trained up mentally to keep the law. Right. You in a place that's training your mind to forsake the law.
Right.
They God is over their society, just like with the herbs. You think herb culture come from them? The God they serve gave them their names, gave them their identity. Now you can go into history and find out how it really came about, but the God they serve give them enough strength so they can go blow themselves up.
Right.
The white man God, his God give him enough strength so he can murder as many people as he can.
Right.
Meaning, you go read Greek, what's they call that? Mythology. Greek mythology. When you go read that, you gonna find out the white race really operating under them principles that they learned. It's in their culture. It's in their cultural DNA, for instance. Now the question is, black man, Hispanic man, Native American man, what was your cultural identity and DNA makeup? It comes from the God you serve. But because you broke the law, the Most High took everything that he gave you back.
Right.
The land he gave you, he took it. He cashed you out of it. Your name, he took it. You discontinued from your inheritance. The Most High did that. Your language is his language. He took it back.
Right.
He took his name back. He took his language back. He took his style back. He took the land back. Because you broke the covenant. Now we finna get into it. Now we dealing with the beast. Them 10 horns represent 10 kings. Them 10 kings represent countries, literal people on earth. And they gonna make everybody, because they empowered by Satan, their whole mission is to go out and deceive. Right. The Most High gonna send you a strong delusion. This is the delusion that came up on the earth. Now, before we read the Daniel, give me Revelations 2:9.
Book of Revelation, chapter 2, verse 9. I know thy works, and tribulation, and poverty, but thou art rich. And I know the blasphemy of them which say they are Jews, and are not, but are the synagogue of Satan.
Now, what you see right here is that this part of the deception. The people who going around on this earth saying they are Jews. You got to understand, what's recorded in this book right here is everything got major significance. You read the book and you just blowing past it. This book is telling you what's going to be the future situation on the whole earth. What different people's going to be doing what, how long they going to be doing it, what coming after this, what coming before, it's broke down right here in these scriptures. It's major. Why are some people going, why the Most High God have it recorded that I know those who say they are Jews but are not? Because you're going to lose your whole identity. It's recorded for you. You're going to lose your whole identity. That's part of the strong delusion that occurred on this earth. Because once you lose your identity, now it's a group of people who say they are Jewish and so-called living in Israel. That's part of the delusion. Guess where the people in so-called Jewish men came from? They're not Jewish at all, or Jews. They are Germans, Poland, and Russians. In other words, they are part of that white race. That same race that came out and deceived the whole world and brought the image for the world to worship.
Right.
The Bible tell you in plain words, you ain't supposed to make no grave image.
That's right.
You look at a phone, under images, it's pictures. I'm using that because it's the most easiest, identifiable way to identify these people. They gonna come with an image and they gonna have the world, they gonna deceive the world to make an image and worship it. It's the image of the beast.
Right.
The image of the beast. What's that image? White Jesus.
Right.
That's the picture of the Antichrist.
That's right.
Do you know how evil this place really is? When you get into this script, you're going to find out the Most High totally against this place. Why? Because these people are against the Most High.
Right.
All right, now, before we get to that Daniel, because we're going to get it in a minute, but give me Luke 21:24. Right here is a group of people who calling themselves Jews. The Most High tell you they are liars, a liar, deceiver. Read.
Luke chapter 21, verse 24. And they shall fall by the edge of the sword, and shall be led away captive into all nations. And Jerusalem shall be trodden down of the Gentiles, and till the time of the Gentiles be fulfilled.
Guess who in Jerusalem right now? The Most High, Christ. In this scripture right here tells you, read that again.
Luke chapter 21, verse 24. And they shall fall by the edge of the sword, and
Israelites, Jews gonna fall by the edge of the sword. Keep reading.
And shall be led away captive into all nations.
They gonna be led away captive. Captive is a slave into all nations. I'm just showing we're gonna go line up on line. Give me Deuteronomy. Hold that because we coming right back. Give me Deuteronomy 28:6 that, because now that the scripture I was gonna tell you what means in which they're gonna be took captive. Cause I'm tired of hearing people saying, oh, it ain't the white man. If it ain't the white man, who is it?
Right.
Read.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28, verse 6.
Keep going.
Verse 68. And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships, by the way whereof I spake unto thee, thou shalt see it no more again. And there ye shall be sold unto your enemies for bondmen and bondwomen, and no man shall buy you.
Now go back to Luke.
Luke chapter 21, verse 24. And they shall fall by the edge of the sword, and they shall be led away captive into all nations.
You're going to slavery by ship.
Right.
And there you're going to be sold to your enemies.
Right.
You gone into captivity. Keep reading.
And Jerusalem shall be trodden down of the Gentiles.
Guess what them Gentiles in Jerusalem going to call themselves? Give me Revelations 3:9. They're going to call themselves Jews. While your identity finna be wiped out during slavery, these people going to set up in Jerusalem, because this is the time of the Gentiles, and they're going to call themselves the Jews. Read.
The book of Revelation, chapter 3, verse 9. Behold, I will make them of the synagogue of Satan, which say they are Jews and are not, but do lie. Behold, I will make them to come and worship before thy feet, and to know that I have loved thee. Okay, now,
he says they are the synagogue of Satan.
Right.
All right. They're in association. Let's go back to, what's that? Revelations 13. No, we're going to go. We're going to have to go 12. I want to find where it's
Satan, that old serpent, the dragon called the devil. 12, read 12:9.
Revelation chapter 12, verse 9. And the great dragon was cast out, that old serpent called the devil and Satan, which deceiveth the whole world.
Come. It's a lie. Now, notice they say Satan. In the previous scripture, Revelation 3 and 9, it say they are the synagogue of Satan. So whoever these people is, they in association with Satan.
Right.
All right. Now, right here we say it says Satan, which deceived the whole world. Hey, we go a little far now. Let's go to what's that? We got this. Give me 13, 15.
The book of Revelation, chapter 13, verse 15. And he had power to give life unto the image of the beast. And the image of the beast should both, Salakia, that the image of the beast should both speak and cause that as many would not worship the image of the beast should be killed.
This is the synagogue of Satan. Now, we just pointed out one of those kings sitting in Israel. The scripture said that Jerusalem's going to be trampled over by the Gentiles till the time of the Gentiles are fulfilled.
Right.
How long? When did that start? When you went into slavery.
That's right.
Since AD 7, you were pushed out of Israel. The heathen been fighting, trying to get that place ever since.
That's right.
Called the Crusades. The Ottoman Empire, the Byzantine Empire went to war with, well, I ain't gonna say they went to war. The Christians came and do what Christians do.
Right.
Murder everything.
That's right.
That's the history of Christianity. Have you ever noticed? Now we're gonna get there. Notice the word deception, house of Satan, and we done identified when the children of Israel going to slavery by ship, that the time Jerusalem gonna be given to the Gentiles for a time period.
Right.
All right. Israelites not in the land according to Christ. You're gonna be took captive. He talking about literal people. Ain't got nothing to do with no fake Christian spirituality.
Right. These
literal. All right. Now we finna go to Daniel chapter 8.
Let's see where we at. Start at let's see, I want to say verse 1. Start at verse 5.
The book of Daniel, chapter 8, verse 5. And as I was considering, behold, an he-goat came up from the west on the face of the whole earth, and touched not the ground. And the goat had no table, Salakia. And the goat had a notable horn between his eyes.
All right, stop right there. Because now we finna go a little farther, and the scripture's gonna reveal. Well, better yet, keep reading. Read verse 9.
Verse 9. And out of the one of them came forth a little horn, which waxed exceedingly great toward the south, and toward the east, and toward the pleasant land. Verse 10. And it waxed great, even to the host of heaven, and it cast down some of the host of heaven and of the stars to the ground, and stamped upon them.
All right, read verse 11.
Yea, he magnified himself even to the prince of the host, and by him the daily sacrifice was taken away, and the place of his sanctuary was cast down. Verse 12. And an host was given him against the daily sacrifice by reason of transgression, and it cast down the truth to the ground, and it practiced and and prophesied.
All right, now notice that he talking about the he-goat. The he-goat gonna go to the north, the south, the east, the west. What's the south? He talking about he gonna run into Africa. Yeah, he gonna run to the east, Middle East, Asia type areas, and he gonna run into the north, which is
what we gonna say, Martin Russia type stuff, or Caucasian environment, European type things. All right. Now the point I'm making is that he even magnified himself against. He magnified himself even to the prince of the host. In other words, he magnified himself to be like a god.
Right.
That's what he's talking about. Talking about a he-goat. They describing a he-goat with one big horn in the middle. The scripture's gonna interpret who the he-goat is. Because he gonna magnify himself to even be like God. Now read that last part of 12 when he says, and it cast down.
Verse 12. Daniel chapter 8, verse 12. And it cast down the truth to the ground.
He cast the truth to the ground. So what's being spoken?
The truth.
Now he cast the truth down to the ground. He's speaking lies. He's the father of lies. When he speaks a lie, he speaks his native language. That's what the scriptures teach. You think he talking about some spooky boogeyman, devil, red horn and tail under the ground. He talking about a literal person. And we finna find out who that person is, what he looked like on earth today. Give me verse 21 in Daniel chapter 8.
The book of Daniel chapter 8 verse 21. And the rough goat is the king of Grecia, and the great horn that is between his eyes is the first king.
Now, who's the first king of Greece? The unified Greece. It's modern history. Everybody talk about the Bible ain't read, it's a white man book. We can go into history. Our kings in the Bible exist in real life. Now, this common knowledge, and you can learn in any school. Who's the first king of the unified Greek Empire? He the first one. You know who Alexander the Great is, or the freak, or the Greek? He's a white boy. Did he go that magnified? No. Let's go back to 8. Better yet, read verses 8 and 11 again.
The book of Daniel, chapter 8, verse 8. Therefore, the he-goat waxed very great, and when he was strong, the great horn was broken. And for it came up 4 notable ones toward the 4 winds of heaven. Verse 11. Yea, he magnified himself even to the prince of the host, and by him.
Who magnified himself? When we go to verse 21, it tells us the white man, who's the Greeks. The white man magnified himself above even to being saying that he is the prince of the host. Read.
First Maccabees chapter 1, verse 1. And it happened that after that, Alexander, son of Philip the Macedonian, who came out of the land of Chittim, had smitten Darius, king of the Persians and Medes, that he had reigned in his stead, the first over Greece.
Now that's in the Apocrypha. He's the first king over Greece.
Right.
The scripture said that he was this the first king, Alexander. The scriptures go right with history because it's the fulfillment of prophecy.
That's right.
Can you understand that? It's the fulfilled. What you think history and the Bible are 2 different things.
Right.
The scriptures was prophesying. So when you read in history, you're reading the fulfillment of our different prophecies.
Right.
The scripture was written in the Most High gave you the ending in the beginning.
That's right.
All right. Now, at this point, you should be able to tell me that you don't see the literal people who is the synagogue of Satan. You don't think of Greece like the nation state over in Europe today. Notice his father from Macedonia. His father was king over Macedonia. Alexander came in and unified all the Greek nation states under one umbrella.
Right.
And became the first king of a unified Greece. All right. All right. Now, give me Now, go to verse 21. We're going to go down to 22. We're going to read all the way through to 20. through the 24.
The book of Daniel, chapter 8, verse 21. And the rough goat is the king of Grecia, and the great horn that is between his eyes is the first king. Now, that being broken, whereas 4 stood up for it, 4 kingdoms shall stand up out of the nation.
Now, hold on. Now, he talking about this still the same goat. One horn represents the king of Greece. When he died, his 4 generals replaced him and divided into 4 separate nations. In other words, the unified nation states of Greece at the Alexander broke up into 4 separate nation states. These are 4 horns on the goat. Okay? When you get to, we'll get that little, Christ gonna separate the sheep from the goat. Right. The sheep is Israel. The scriptures tell you who the goat is.
Right.
All right, now, we're gonna get to where we at, 23?
Right.
Read.
Verse 22. Now that being broken, whereas 4 stood up for it, 4 kingdoms shall stand up out of the nation, but not in his power.
Now, it's still one nation, but he said 4 kingdoms gonna pop up out of that nation. Meaning, they all the same people. Now it's 4 nations, okay? Keep reading.
Verse 23. And in the latter time of their kingdom.
In the latter time, it's the same people. He's not talking about the same individuals. He's talking about the same race and nation stock of people. They Greeks, they white people. You can't misinterpret that. In verse 8, it tell you that they came from the West. Even today, Caucasian white America or Europe, guess what they call themselves? The West.
Right.
Western civilization. The scripture tell you they're coming from the West. Scripture told you about Alexander coming. It's going to break down into 4. Now keep reading.
Verse 23. And in the latter time of their kingdom, when the transgressors are come to the full, a king of fierce countenance and understanding dark sentences shall stand up. Verse 24. And his power shall be mighty, but not by his own power, and he shall destroy wonderfully, and shall prosper in practice, and shall destroy the mighty and the holy people.
Stop right there. Now we finna go back to Revelations. I'm gonna say chapter 12 again. When they say he went to war with the saints and overpowered them. Let me find that one time. Because you're going to really find out, Revelation, to understand this Bible, you need to look here, a little there, line up on line, precept up on precept, there a little, here a little. So you need to get in the Most High. That's why you need to come into the school, the I.S.U.P.K. with these, I'm talking about amazing teachers. Amazing teachers. I'm talking about amazing. They gonna have you mentally ready, spiritually right, and you're gonna be in a spiritual, for example, for lack of a better word, like you're gonna be in spiritual training to get right. You're gonna understand the reality of the scriptures and not some mystic Christian talk that don't mean nothing, that can't be defined. The scriptures speaks for itself, but you need a teacher to help you. Get in the I.S.U.P.K. There are amazing teachers here. All right, now let me find that verse. I need to find that. What's the word? Huh?
It's verse 17.
And
the dragon was wroth with the woman and went to make war with the remnant of her seed.
you can use that. Give me that. That's one.
Revelation chapter 12, verse 17. And the dragon was wroth with the woman, and went to make war with the remnant of her seed, which keep the commandments of God, and have the testimony of Yahweh Shai.
Now, again, right here it say that he went to war, the dragon. We understand the dragon is Satan. Salah. You got something else on that? Okay. Now we understand that the dragon is Satan. So when we go to the book of Daniel again in 24, when he say he's gonna make war with the saints or the holy people, who did that?
Right.
The scripture tell you the Greeks. Now they might have a different name, because 4 nations sprung up out of them. And then later on, in the later days, they call themselves Romans. Today they Germans, today they Americans, today they French, Italians. That's why in Revelation, I want to say, what's that? A different blaspheme name on his head. Give me 13 verse 1.
The book of Revelation, chapter 13, verse 1. And I stood upon the sand of the sea and saw a beast rise up out of the sea, having 7 heads and 10 horns, and upon his horns 10 crowns, and upon his head the names of blasphemy. And the beast which I saw was like unto a leopard, and his feet were as the feet of a bear, and his mouth as the mouth of a lion. And the dragon gave him his power and his seat and great authority.
Now, somebody say, well, in Daniel, it called it a goat. Now, we can go to another prophecy of Daniel. You can find out who the leopard is. You can find out who the bear is. In other words, this empire, that dragon, which is Satan, the old serpent, he done took all the former empires. He done consumed them, or their knowledge of took the best part of those empires. Being United States, you can see Greece in its culture.
Right.
You can see the Roman history in their culture. That's all it is. This beast got a different blaspheme name. Them 7 heads, according to the scripture, represent 10 kings. I mean, them 10 horns represent 10 literal kings. And kings represent countries. We also see that out of Christ's own map, you going into captivity, and the Gentiles gonna be in the Holy Land.
Right.
We see in Revelation where it say, I know those who say they are Jews and are not. This part of the deception, that they gonna make you worship an image. This is the strong delusion. You gonna see them in power. You gonna see them great. You gonna see all the wonders they doing. And let me see, let me find that. When he talk about Babylon, they were the great merchants of the earth. Her men were the great merchants of the earth. Better yet, let me see if I got. Let's see. All right. Give me Revelation chapter 18.
The book of Revelation, chapter 18, verse 1. And after these things I saw another angel come down from heaven, having great power, and the earth was lightened with his glory. And he cried mightily with a strong voice, saying, Babylon the great is fallen, and is become the habitation of devils, and the hold of every foul spirit, and a cage of every unclean and hateful bird. For all nations have drunk of the wine of the wrath of her fornication, and the kings of the earth have committed fornication with her. And the merchants of the earth are waxed rich through the abundance of her delicacies.
Okay. Now, again, you got to understand that this is all connected. You looking at, oh, it's chapter 18. This is a different chapter than the last chapter, so it might not go there. No. That's part of the beast. Babylon is the woman that sits on the beast. You know what a rider do on that? Like if you was a rider on a horse, what do you do? Because the horse doing all the hard running. What do? You guide it.
Right.
You the master. The woman that sits on the beast is guiding the 7-head dragon with 10 horns. See, why? Babylon was the leader. That's why in verse 17, verse 12, read that.
The book of Revelation, chapter 17, verse 12. And the 10 horns which thou sawest are 10 kings, which have received no kingdom as yet, but receive power as kings 1 hour with the beast.
These kings gonna also receive power with the beast. Now, if you for a deeper understanding of those 10 kings, you can easily get a breakdown from the I.S.U.P.K, 10 common markets, who represent 10 countries or groups of people. That's my point I want to illustrate.
Right.
Is that these kings represent nations or groups of people, literal people on earth. Okay? Give me Job, what's that, 9 and 24? Because these people gonna deceive the whole earth. They did it with their religion. That's why Revelations 18, he just said that the whole world have committed fornication. What is fornication? It's spiritual, meaning they worship something else.
Right.
If Israel go worship another God, that's spiritual fornication, adultery.
That's right.
And what world, who was committing fornication or adultery? Israelites. The whole world doesn't follow. The world of Israel, whatever we scattered at, we done fell into fornications, spiritually.
Right.
If you, one side of Israel want to be Catholic, that's our Hispanic brothers. The other side want to be good Protestants, that's the Negroes. Come on now. We in spiritual adultery, spiritual fornication. Read.
The book of Job, chapter 9, verse 24. The earth is given into the hand of the wicked. He covereth the faces of the judges thereof. If not, where? And who is he?
Again, who ruling the earth? The white man.
Right.
All right, so when you read in Revelation, when they say he came, he got his power from the beast, he told them to make an image of the beast, and he gave it power to speak, and whoever didn't worship, he caused that they should be killed. If the white man ruling the earth, that's what Revelation is talking about.
Right.
The white man gonna come against the nation of Israel and make war with the saints. That's what the book of Daniel just told us.
Right.
I want to make it clear. That's my whole purpose. To make this clear without a shadow of a doubt that the white man is in the spirit and operating under the spirit and in the power of Satan.
Right.
He is the wicked on this earth.
That's right.
All right? Now, to emphasize, let's get to the, can you read Hebrews 2 and 14 for me?
The book of Hebrews, chapter 2, verse 14. For as much then as the children are partakers of flesh and
You
blood,
say spirituality. It's spiritual.
partakers of flesh and blood,
Keep going.
he also himself likewise took part of the same, that through death he might destroy him that hath power of death, that is, the devil.
Again, can you understand that? That the partakers, the children of the kingdom are on this earth, literally flesh and blood people. He became a partaker of their same form and likeness. He came on this earth as a flesh and blood person who was literally born into this world. So when a person tell you the color of Christ don't matter, that's a damn lie.
Right, that's right.
That's a lie. Because the image of the beast is a white boy they call him Christ. If it didn't matter, why they changed, just like we just read, that they try to paint the, give me that Job 9 and 24 again, when it said try to paint the pictures of our likenesses. If it didn't matter, then why they change the picture of Yahweh? Or the image in your mind of Yahweh? Read.
Job chapter 9 verse 24. The earth is given into the hand of the wicked. He covereth the faces of the judges thereof. If not, where? And who is he?
Again, if that ain't, when you go into any Christian church or any place on the face of the earth that got a white picture of Jesus, that's a strong delusion.
Right.
That's the lie. That's a deception. And a delusion is something that causes you to believe a to hold a false belief. There's no truth in that. These people are not some loving people who want to give kindness to the world. They out here sucking the world dry.
Right.
Every day. They can't sleep unless they know they done committed some type of evil act. It make them feel good. If it didn't, then if you telling me white people don't feel good about murdering, then they would not murder the whole race of people. They didn't feel good about slaving people, they would not enslave the whole race of people.
Right.
This is what's in them to do. This is what they here to do. And as long as you got brothers and sisters, you might not be conscious, but as long as you trying to join white people, you working against the kingdom of heaven.
Right.
You got to stop working against the Most High. You wonder why you can't prosper. Because you're working against the Most High. Every time a strong brother come out, say something against this devil, you got more Jakes in the world who will run to the white man rescue. We got to stop doing that and see him for being the wicked man that he is. All right? Now, give me that Hebrews 2 again and go down. No, Salak, we ain't going to do that. We going to go, because we got to nail this part right quick for the class though, about the image of Christ. What the people of Israel look like, what their skin color. Because we seeing that we know who the Greeks were. They were white people.
Right.
And the wicked was given authority over the earth. White people. And they were going to come and push a new religion. Christ warned you, do not be deceived. For many will come in my name, saying that I am he. They came in the name of Christ with an image. And Revelation keep stressing, they going to have an image and make the whole world worship. These fake Israelite groups got you waiting on a computer chip.
Right.
They got you thinking they going to kick in your door and take you to a FEMA camp.
Right.
And black helicopters in the sky, they out of control, man.
Right.
Not knowing that if you accept that white Jesus in your mind, you already accepted the mark of the beast.
That's right.
If you go kill in the name of America, you already got the mark of the beast in your hand.
That's right.
That's that gun. If you trying to uphold this place, you in the spirit of the Antichrist. And guess who's the head over the Christian organization? I know black people and Hispanics and Native American, they want you to believe nobody's over the Christian faith. Like rules don't come down from the Pope that it fits all your churches.
Right.
I'm gonna show you. Christians, Protestants, why ain't no priest in there? Because the authority of the Catholic Church says you can't be a priest, you can only be a pastor.
Right.
So don't tell me you and y'all Catholic and Christianity different. It ain't different. She is the mother of all the holiness on the earth.
Right.
Who was the holy? Baptists, Pentecostals, Methodists, and whatever other fake denomination religion y'all came up with. That Catholic Church is the founder of all this madness here.
Right.
Give you a prime example. You say you're a Christian. You say you believe in the Most High God. I'm going to show you. You worship the white man. You don't worship the Most High. The Most High say keep the 7th day holy. That means out of all the days of the week, it's a Pacific day, the 7th. Keep that holy. You know what the white man told you in Catholic Church that came down to the Protestants and all black Christians still do it with no biblical evidence to support it. So don't come talking about you a believer when you on Sunday. Guess who God that is? That's the white man God. He right. Keeping the sun God. He keeping Sunday because he's a sun worshiper. Right. That's why on the picture of white Jesus got like a halo. You think it's a halo. It's the sun.
Right.
They are sun god worship. They worshiping Zeus and Apollo. Like Apollo 13. You think they just named that space shuttle or that mission Apollo 13? They supporting their gods.
Right.
When they just seeing that space shuttle, SpaceX, I think that's the name of the company. They got a space shuttle going up to the International Space Station called Dragon. You think it's an accident, huh?
Right.
You think the missiles called hellfire? You think the white man just doing it? He just that's what he know. No, he know the script. He know what's going on. When he dropped the Moab bomb on Moab, you think that's accident?
Right.
Man, he doing this in real life. And you worried about some spiritual devil under the ground, horns and tail. The white man is the devil.
That's right.
Get that in your mind. Then you go understand the scriptures a little better. When you get into the scriptures got the history. You can go get a world history book, since they say the Bible ain't real. The king of Babylon, Nebuchadnezzar, he in the history. King Cyprus of the Persian Empire, King Darius of the Persian Empire. You can go read about them in history books.
Right.
And guess what was happening to blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans? Well, I'm gonna say the 10 lost tribes were already gone to a different captivity. But guess what was happening to Israel as a whole, though? Know why you don't hear about them? Because they was in slavery.
Right.
When you get to the Greeks, Alexander the Great or the Greek, you can go read about him in history books. The 4 horns that came up after him, his 4 generals, they became 4 nations. You can go read about them 4 generals in history. When you get to the Romans, you can go read about Caesar, Ptolemy, Titus. I mean, what's that general? AB7? Vespucius. I can't pronounce it real good, so bear with me. Forgive me for that one. I butchered that name. But you can read about all the kings in the Bible in history.
Right.
Now here go a book telling you the detailed accounts of a people under every empire, naming those kings, and you gonna tell me the book ain't real. That's because you believe in a strong delusion.
Right.
You having pleasure in unrighteousness. You love white Jesus. I know you do. You can eat what you want. You can go be a hamburger. Just say, God forgive me. Or maybe you want to get baptized again. You go get dipped in some water again, you come back up, and now you born again. Get out of here. You go right back to doing what you were doing as soon as you leave out the door. You going to chasing your be in competition with your own brother over crumbs. Fighting for resources, killing each other out here. It ain't never came to your mind that your perception of life and God is wrong.
Right. Why?
Because you don't receive. Give me 2 Thessalonians 2:11 and 12. You don't understand how serious the delusion went out. The Christ telling you, I'm talking about every step in the Bible giving you the signs and the marks. He tell you they're gonna come out and say they associated with me. He told his disciples. Then he say Satan gonna change himself from into an angel of light in his ministers. So they gonna be on earth practicing a deception. That's why Christ say when he speaks a lie, he speaks his native language. There's no truth in him. Right. When you talk to white people today, they seriously sincere believe that they ain't did nothing wrong. They not guilty.
Right.
That's because lying is his nature.
That's right.
And the scriptures I'm finna get ready to wrap up, but the scriptures, man, just bear witness and prove that it ain't no spiritual, you don't understand spirituality. In the UPK, we understand spirituality.
Right.
We understand what it really means. It look like keeping the law. It look like being in the right brotherhood, when I say the right brotherhood, because you got some people think they in a brotherhood until police come.
Right.
Then your brotherhood turns to snitching. Guess what? I'm in a brotherhood. I ain't worried about if the police come.
Right.
We keepers of the law.
That's right.
The law of the Most High God.
That's
and
right.
if you keeping the law of the Most High God, then you ain't got to worry about the white man and his law. Simple as that. Now, do the white man got some laws we ain't keeping? You goddamn right. What law? Because in the UPK it ain't legal to be gay.
That's right.
Because our law given to us from the Most High God that came down, Commander General Yohanna had, I'm talking about from him all the way down. I want to make that clear. Because I was taught. I got the structure. I didn't get this from myself. You gotta come learn. You gotta come understand what's going on in these scriptures.
Right.
Stop listening to these people who got, you know, the first thing they tell you, my opinion, in my heart, how I feel. When you hear words like that, that's supposed to be like fire alarm supposed to go off in your head. Oh, don't listen to nothing he say. He talking about what he think.
Right.
He can't, I mean, I'm just saying, what you think is really not important right now. It's about the nation. Stop being an individual. And I want to say this. When you think like an individual and only think about yourself, your mind not operating at full capacity. Like little kids. That's how you operate when you can only think about yourself. As you become more aware and grow up as an adult people usually tend to have families, kids, and they got to think about more stuff than themselves. And if you can't get out of your own needs, your own wants, and can't see the needs or wants of your brothers and sisters around you, then your mind is very small. Now, to get to the deceiving part, because there is a deceiver on this world who want to. Did we read that yet? That 2 Thessalonians again. Read for me.
2 Thessalonians chapter 2, verse 11. And for this cause, God shall send them strong delusion that they should believe a lie. Verse 12. That they all might be damned who believe not the truth, but had pleasure in unrighteousness.
Again, only way you're going to believe the delusion that the Bible is about God loving everybody coming together, and that Christ was a white boy, and white people are the holy people, and what they doing is good, and we should be a part of their democracy and join them. The only way you're going to believe that is that you love unrighteousness. You haven't pledged in this place.
Right.
Yeah, you can't see yourself wanting to leave. Say, where we gonna go? It's the best place on earth. How about building a whole different society? That never crossed your mind. They tell you can be anything you want to be until black people get to talk about being independent.
Right.
Now all of a sudden they give you all the reason why you can't. They are ministers of Satan.
That's right.
They trying to put chains on your mind. The Most High say you gotta believe. It say first seek forth the kingdom. Your whole goal as a black man, Native American man, Hispanic man on this earth is supposed to be building the kingdom of heaven. Do you know what type of mind state we'll be in as a people if we would actively out here saying, I believe that we gonna build the kingdom. Right. I'm talking about active belief. We gonna do this. We finna do that. And knowing that the Most High is with you. How would you know? Because you keeping his law. You following his word.
Right.
You being a shepherd to your people now. You know what we are right now? Slaves.
Right.
Because anytime you get to talking about being upright and independent, they gonna find a way to try to shut you down.
That's right.
They don't want you to be upright. You know why? Because if you become upright out here, you'll get to see the white man for the snake and devil he really is.
Right.
You'll get to see the right move. Right now, you can't see the right move because he got you laid down with all his philosophy and thoughts, and he got you operating out here crazy. You thinking everybody equal, but you the only person running around the country don't own nothing.
Right.
Better get out that fairy tale. Now, for the sake of just, I gotta bring this out, man, because I want you to see that part of that deception is believing that white people are Jewish and believing that Christ is a white boy. Get that out your mind. Give me Daniel 79, then we're gonna get ready to wrap this class up.
The book of Daniel, chapter 7, verse 9. I beheld till the thrones were cast down, and the Ancient of Days did sit, whose garment was white as snow, and the hair of his head like the pure wool.
Stop right there. Again, when things that are recorded in these scriptures in the Bible are of great significance, Like when you go through a history book, they recording things that were major events. Okay? Now, when he recorded, it's a reason why he telling you his hair is like the pure wool. Why? So when you see that white boy on that picture, that's an image now, you'll know that's a deception.
Right.
But if you got the type of heart that want to love everybody thinking that's right, I just want to let you know, you weak as hell. Why I say that? Because while you giving your love to everybody, all of them got nations of their own. They got their own independent nation. The Chinese people ain't running around talking about let's come. The whole world is segregated. Chinese in China. Nigerians in Nigeria. How come you don't want to be segregated? There's something wrong with your mind. I know why. They done brought you into slavery and made you a slave.
Right.
So now you can't think like an independent person or individual. Only time you can understand the word individual unless you have a relationship with white Jesus. Now you can understand individual. They try to stop your individual relationship with white Jesus, you go crazy. That ain't nowhere in the Bible. But God got a personal relationship with you. When Israel came out of Egypt, you telling me the Most High was talking each Israelite personally to get their consent? That ain't what's happening. That is not what's happening. The Most High ain't talking to you. When I say that, I mean the Christian, the Most High told me this. Stop it. Most High ain't told you that. Yeah, the Most High told me to preach on this. Can you show me that? How did you hear it? Oh, he was in the spirit. Every time you hear that spirit talk from probably anybody, Muslims, Christians, Buddhists, or whatever the little fake religion is, you need to be aware. That ain't the right talk. They tell you they told me in the spirit, I was in the spirit, and all this, that ain't the right talk. They really trying to imitate how these holy men and prophets were talking.
Right.
But these are men who were keeping the law, men who the Most High called like Moses. And many of the prophets like Daniel, Obadiah, Jeremiah, Ezekiel. And during their time, the Most High talked to them, and they went and talked to kings, governors. It wasn't on the corner story. It wasn't in your church in a little shack y'all get together at on Sunday. That ain't what's happening. What you see in this society and the way they dealing with these scriptures, these holy scriptures, the way they dealing with this is the mind of a retarded man, which is the white man, Satan,
right.
The devil.
That's right.
And if you try to operate the way he done constructed it, you in a strong delusion. Because you supposed to be able to go in these scriptures and see, oh, when I say you, I mean, for you having a teacher. I keep hearing people lately talking about how they getting this and getting that out the scriptures, and the Lord told me this from that. No, that's not what's going on. Next week we're gonna prove that, but this week gonna be through for today. Next week we're gonna get into having a teacher. We're gonna go into scripture and show you how the prophets were taught. And it's the same way today. Now that's my lesson for today. And I do, again, I want to reiterate this. The point for this lesson was to go through the scripture and show you from Daniel, Revelations, different books of the Bible, to show you that it is a literal people on this earth who are working in the spirit of Satan. As clear as day from the scriptures. It's like Satan gave the beast its power.
Right.
And white Jesus is the picture of the beast. Now with that, I want to say shalom. Shalom. Yahabashem, Yahabashabarakatah. It's the I.S.U.P.K. from 125th Street, Harlem, New York, on the commanding General Yahanna. And if you're not in the UPK, you are not in the truth.